They said we would never make it. They thought we were not good enough. A few even said we were finished. But there comes a point in life when one person's faith can shatter the world and give you something to believe in. This is The Flight. The Flight was brought to you by Hardcore, Realtree, Dro Calls, Beretta, Lacrosse Waiters, Kaminsky Development, Spectra Shot, Mojo, and by Hughes Waterfowl Systems.
While we were in Chicago this year hunting with Matt Porter, I got a phone call from a man named Mauro Tomasetti. And Mauro began to tell me about a foundation hunt, a charity hunt, if you will, that he's been putting on for several years. Now, every year across this country, there is charity hunts that take place for different, organizations, different diseases. And that's great that, America is a place where we can use, goose hunting, duck hunting, deer hunting, no matter what it is, to raise money for different organizations, different charities, great causes. But he began to explain to me about what his charity and his family had put together, and it was about a disease that I really did not know much about, called cystic fibrosis.
All throughout the year, the Flight gets asked to be a part of many charity organizations, whether it be muscular dystrophy or Wounded Warrior programs. This year, we were honored to be a part of Liv's Hunt for a Cure. Some of the great big names in waterfowl was there. Tim Grounds, Jeff Fulls, etc., and so on.
Now, every year they have an event called Liv's Hunt for a Cure. And what it is where, waterfowlers come from all over the nation. They have a humongous dinner the first night that you're there, and they have an auction, they're raising money. And I mean, some of the well-known waterfowlers in the country go there. I mean, you got Jeff Fulls. I mean, you got Tim Grounds. I mean, I could just keep going and going and going. But this dinner takes place and everybody kind of gets to know one another, and you're sitting around enjoying great food, and you got an opportunity to bid in the auction or buy something that's going to go to raise money for this great organization.
My name is Jay Jurassic. I hunt northwest suburbs of Illinois and Lake County, and just happy to be here for Live for a Cure. It's a great event, and we're just hoping that people spend some money and we try to get a cure tonight. Thank you, and as always, have a wonderful day.
It didn't take long to figure out that this organization was, number one, not only legit, but it was after making a real change, and that's the key. I mean, evil wins when good people do nothing. And being a good person doesn't have anything to do with what color you are, what car you drive, where you go to church. Being a good person is, in my opinion, you see somebody that's got a need and you step up to the plate when you can provide. And that's what we were trying to do when we were there. Now, we were going to go hunting and film it and, be a part of, Liv's Hunt for a Cure that whole weekend. But just to see the dinner take place and see all the people spending money so that this great cause can continue. It's a nonprofit organization, And all they do is they care about these kids. They care about these kids. Liv cares about these kids. And, you know, when it hits home and it's your child, you know, it makes you think. It makes you think. And then when you're able to be a part of what's going on and see all the good that this charity is doing, you know, it makes you feel good inside.
I'm tired, dude.
All right, so guys, it's Saturday and we've made it out to the pit for Live for a Cure, and I have the honor today to share a pit with Mauro Tomasetti. And Mauro kind of put all this together years ago. So Mauro, just kind of explain to the people at home what you're doing, what this is all about, and just kind of give us an update on how it's going.
Well, the reason we do this is my daughter Olivia was born with cystic fibrosis. For those of you who don't know what cystic fibrosis is, it's a genetic disease. And in the United States, there's about 30,000 children and young adults who have CF. Because of the fact that it's such a small number of people, there's not a lot of federal and state funding for it. In fact, it's referred to as an orphan's disease. And so there's a lot more private funding for it. Some people might be familiar with Boomer Esiason's kid has it. And so we have a spokesman out there, you know, and Boomer's been doing a great job getting it out there. So we're all just trying to do our part to raise funds, raise awareness, make people aware of this disease, because it's a really, really, really tough disease because it manifests itself in each patient differently.
So you've been putting this event together for how long now?
We did our first one in 2002, and the whole idea came about because I went to a hunt in Marion, Avery Outdoors put it on, and we called it the Avery International. It was kind of the same idea. They brought all the best callers from all over the country in for the weekend, and it allowed people like myself to, you know, pay a premium price to hunt with these guys. Well, I don't know how it worked out this way, but I got to hunt with Tim Grounds. I was there by myself, and you know, I ran this idea about maybe moving something like this up to Northern Illinois. So back in 2002, we did our first year, and we had probably about 118 people participated in the event. And since then, Live for a Cure has raised over $250,000 for various children's hospital in Chicago.
Wow. Now, how old is Liv now?
Liv is 15 years old, and if you look at her, you wouldn't think anything's wrong with her.
Okay.
First, because she is given the best of whatever whatever these CF patients give her. She is an excellent doctor. We've got a great support system. Treatments is all with the CF. So now she's 15 years old. You probably should make an appearance at the hotel probably this afternoon.
Cool.
She's not feeling too well because she's coming down with a cold, and the nasty thing about this disease is that it controls the mucus content in your body. And with CF patients, the mucus content is really thick, all right, and it lines all the organs in your body, your pancreas, your lungs, your bowels. So each different organ presents a problem as far as the patient itself.
Right.
So each different has a different treatment.
You know, one of the great things while we were there, obviously we got to go Canada goose hunt and help raise money for the cause, but I was nervous because, you know, everybody was talking about Liv and the reason this charity got started with Mauro and his wife Lisa, and I wanted to meet Liv. You know, I didn't know if I was going to be able to handle it, and I didn't even know what to expect. But I asked the family privately if we could sit down on camera and just kind of talk to Liv, let her introduce herself to the world, and just share whatever she wanted to share. I didn't care what she said. We just were there because we wanted to be a part of what she was doing. And I'm going to tell you, Lisa and Liv sat down with me for about 10 or 15 minutes. And to hear the words that came out of that young girl's mouth changed my life forever. I left that hotel that night a different person, a different aspect on life, because I can't tell you what kind of an impact that this young lady is not only having right now, but is going to continue to have in the future. If there was one thing that you have seen your daughter do that has just been exceptional throughout this whole time, this whole disease, this whole fight she's going through, what would be that one thing that just, you know, it just gives you an awe when you see it?
She's an amazing kid. It's hard to pinpoint it to one thing because she goes with the flow.
Right.
And it's hard. She has a hard life.
Right.
She gets sick frequently. She has a lot of hospitalizations, and she has a lot of nasty tests that she has to go through and procedures. But she's my hero. She really is. She just does whatever she can do to stay alive. She's doing it. She's gonna beat this.
If there was one thing, Mom, that you would want the people at home to know in a short statement, what is something that they can do as a parent? You know, you only know that. Nobody can tell you that feeling. What is the one thing that they can do to help make a difference?
They could start by loving their own children, which I'm sure they do, and realize that if you have a healthy child, you kiss your child and you thank God every day that your child is healthy. And then go to our website, look us up, and make a donation.
Cool. Livy, what's the greatest thing about your mom and dad?
Too much.
Right? If you could say one thing about your mama, and I say mama because I'm a Southern boy, okay? So if it was your mom, if you could say one thing about your mom that you love the most, what is it?
She takes care of me.
Yeah. If I was a child your age at home right now, and I was having trouble and I was suffering from the same disease that you have, what's the one thing that you would tell me to make it all okay?
Take care of yourself. That's really important. And just know that everything's gonna be okay.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed.